welcome back to another episode of Inside the Mind of a Young Entrepreneur. So, I want to start off this episode by asking you a question. Have you ever have had a conversation with someone and then they start talking in all this nonsense and you're just thinking to yourself inside your head, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Like, this can't be true what this guy is saying. Like, this bullshit filter is just like ringing all the time, and it's almost at the point that you start to tell him that, like, this is bullshit. You're straight up lying. I don't know about you, but I have. Now the thing is, we like when we can start doing that to ourselves with the own conversations that we have inside our head, like our conscious mind is like logic and emotions just talking to each other every single time. I have talked about this analogy about, like, from Russell Brunson with these apes that's just talking to each other and chatting. But sometimes these conversations that you start to have inside your brain, they are not true. Like, that's when you have to put up this bullshit mechanism again. Like, when you're David Goggins, he calls it your inner bitch. Like, when you're doing something, like something hard, and it's just like whispering in your ear, you can just lay off for a bit. Or, for example, when I'm writing VSLs, like, you can just hop on YouTube and just do a bit of research and watch some videos and just call it research. Like, that's when my bullshit filter should just scream and ring, and I should, like, just stand up and say bullshit out loud, even if it's to myself, because that's when I reinforce this thing. Like, that's a bullshit thought. That's not real. That's not true. Bullshit. Don't want to do that. Because that's when you stop negotiating with yourself. Every time, like, for me especially, that's something like I've been struggling with a lot. Like, when I do something, a task or something, I can easily get thrown off because that, like, that tiny bitch inside my head just says, like, you can just wind off for a bit. You could just do that. Like, nobody will notice. But that's when my bullshit filter should just ring and scream out loud, and I say bullshit. Stop that feeling, stop that thought, and just continue. Because here is where you're proving yourself wrong. That this little voice, you're proving that wrong by just saying bullshit, and you need to do it out loud. Say bullshit out loud, because this reinforces it. Like, this is basically feels like someone saying it to you, to that voice, like, bullshit. That's not true. And this is every time you're starting to negotiate with yourself. Like, for example, when I woke up this morning, I didn't want to go to the gym, and I had, like, the feeling I had yesterday by me, like, the thought of me having to go to the gym, like, it made me sick to the stomach. I didn't want to wake up. Like, I just wanted to lay in my bed. But that's when this bullshit alarm just rang, and I just stood up, took my clothes off, and in my brain I just, like, repeated bullshit, bullshit. That's bullshit. You need to do this. Don't listen to that. That's bullshit. And whenever, like, there's something hard you need to do, something, like, let me just see here, like, also with something you feel like you can't do. If there's a client there's a prospect that reached out to me, and, like, he's doing big numbers, and then this, like, story about myself that says, like, you can't work with these such big clients, like, you'll just flop it all, and, like, you'll just screw his whole business because it doesn't work what you're doing. That's a false story that you're telling yourself all the time. And when you tell that to yourself over and over and over and over again, it reinforces. Like, it becomes biochemistry. Like, it sits in your body, and you're just stuck in this prison. And that's when you have to, like, break free from this and, like, call it bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. You need to like amplify the highs, like get more of the highs, get more of the good stories, and then immediately when you see it's crashing down, catch the low story, catch the bad ones when it goes down, and then like the only thing you can do there is say bullshit. That is bullshit. I can do this. I need to do this, because that's the truth. Like everything, like you see on a coin, there's two sides. You can either look on the good and the bad, or the bad side, and everything is just about perspective. And I heard Tony Robbins talk about this. Like whenever someone comes late, you have a like your schedule, or you have a date or something like that. You've planned something out, and they come late. Like some will think like, are they hurt? And they will start worrying. And others will think like, what a fucking idiot. Like he's just burning me off. And like the event is the same. Someone is coming late, but the stories that you've told yourself throughout like years and decades are determining your perspective on that. Like some would say like they are burning you off, others will get worried, but that's still the same event, that's still the same thing that's happening, but it's just two different outcomes, because one story is telling you that they're burning you off, and the other is telling like they might get hurt, might be hurt. And that is like so fascinating how the brain works. And these are something like I've been struggling with a lot. And like what is being too easy on myself, what is being too hard on myself, like what can I allow myself to do, like when is this like little bitch inside my head talking, and how can I stop it? And I think I found a cure. Just say bullshit. Because today when I went to the gym, I usually after every workout I go, like I set the treadmill to full incline and have a 4.5 kilometer like pace, 4.5 kilometers in an hour pace, and then I just walk. And sometimes like I see my hands like reach out for the bar that's in front of me, and when you put your hands on that bar, you're taking off the tension and you can just lean back. And whenever like I didn't do it consciously, like my hand would just grab around that bar without me even knowing it. And when I saw it, like I just said loud inside my head, bullshit, because there was other people around me, but bullshit. And then I took my hand off immediately. And that just makes a huge of a difference, because when you put your hand off, like you're just making it easy, and putting your hand on, you're just making it easy and taking it easy on yourself, and you're not breaking a sweat. But I wanted to break a sweat, like I needed to do that. And then I just called it bullshit, because you can either pick physical pain or you can pick mental pain. There will always be pain. So listen, like there will always be pain, and that's the same with like this is basically delayed and or instant and delayed gratification. Because if you do instant gratification, like it might be like easy on your body, you'll just sit there, relax and be comfortable, but your head will just start to like mess with you until these bad stories will just start to come up and flood your mind and say you're not good enough for this, and you're just sitting there slacking, like what are you even doing? And it just becomes a rut, like you're digging your own grave inside your mind. And I've like, there's days when I just like everything just flows on, and like I have all the momentum in the morning, and then by noon I'm just digging my own grave, sitting there and scrolling, and I'm not proud of it, but that is just reality. And like this is just a thing that is helping me call things bullshit. And again, think of you are either choosing pain mentally, and like I don't know about you, but I feel like pain mentally is one of the worst things. Like I hate talking bad to myself, and I like these are always like they can make or break every man. Like the one, just like every story that you tell yourself, it can either build you up and make you the greatest, or it can take your life. That is really the power of these things. So that's why I when I say these things out to myself and out loud, I become clear on this. And that's why I now want to rather have the physical pain and feel like mentally, all right, I'm proving myself right. I can do this. Like, and that little bitch, I'm proving that wrong, and I can do this. And that just reinforces it every time. And then it becomes a habit. It sits in your subconscious, and without you even knowing it, you are already like far beyond on the track to success. But that is just because you chose the physical pain. And the physical pain for me could also be like sitting there and writing. Like my everything from me like just wants to move over and watch YouTube videos. But I have to write because I know that might be physical pain now, but after that is mental relief, instead of me picking on myself and hitting myself in the back of my head because I just went too easy on myself. And that's also another thing that Zig Ziglar talks about. And he says like life becomes infinite easier when you become hard on yourself. And that is just the truth. And these are just things I'm trying to incorporate in my day, because if I do this every day, and if you become aware of these things, like it will start to build in your subconscious. Because in the beginning, like you will not recognize all the times that you need to call bullshit on yourself. But if you like keep that thought in mind and you do it more and more and more often, and you do not let that thing slip away, it will just start to reinforce, and that will become a track that your subconscious follows every single time, and you will start build up yourself instead of dragging you down and digging your own grave inside your head. So yeah, just remember everything in life, it's just about stories that we tell ourselves. Like, are we good enough? Can we do this? Am I worthy of this? All these things, they are just stories, and that creates habits. And whenever this story comes up, you just tend to drag towards that habit. Like the story of me, or like the little bits telling the story that let me just like slack off for a bit. Like it's a bit hard writing these VSLs. Let's just watch a movie, or it's like take time to watch a TV series. And that becomes a habit. So now whenever I meet resistance, I draw towards the bad habit. And yeah, that is basically how our brain works. And whenever you can be more conscious about this, like you need to be conscious about this in the beginning. And whenever you like, it's really hard in the beginning. And whenever you start to like get a hold of it, it becomes a subconscious thing, and then it starts to become a good habit. So be aware of these stories that you tell yourself. That is basically the essence of this video. And call bullshit. Whenever there's something your inner bitch tries to negotiate with you or tell you something that you can't, call it bullshit, because it is. Everything is just a coin. You can look on it at the good side or the bad side. And that's how life works, my friends. So take care, peace. See you guys on another episode of Inside the Mind of a Young Entrepreneur. Yeah, see you later.